friends. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, and today we are meeting for another conversation. Today, we are talking about silent suffering that you get used to is not harmless. Now, I'm talking here directly to moms. You're feeling tired, your body's achy, you're feeling resentful, you're feeling angry, you're worried all the time, and you keep pushing yourself. And it feels like that there's something within us that is just weighing us down. I know so many of us, we live like that. It would just weighs you down. You just push it to the side. It could be a worry about your kids. It could be something from your childhood trauma that is pulling on you, a trigger here and there, something with your in law, something with your partner in your marriage. If you're single mom, it could be like, you haven't let go of your ex fully yet, or you haven't healed through that trauma. The reason I'm highlighting all of this, somewhere, somehow we think, oh, it's just part of being a human. We just carry stuff. Some people feel like they're carrying their whole family, their whole lineage, all of that on their shoulders. It does give us a good sense of responsibility. So it makes us feel significant. It makes us feel like we are doing something. Unconsciously, that is how we feel. But at what cost? That is what I want to talk about. So if you feel like you're just carrying something within you, whether it feels inside, whether it feels on your back, but there's something that just pulls on you. And you don't talk about it, you don't tell anybody, and you feel like this is just how it is. Now, on the surface, no one can see what you're thinking. On the surface, it's very easy to fake how you're feeling. I can come here and I can put a big smile, which my husband, by the way, likes to call my brand smile. He thinks it's my brand smile, but that is who I am. Worked to be here. It's very easy. I can come here and do that. And when I turn off this video, then I'm sitting in a corner, sobbing over my pity party or pity story. We all have those moments, right? It's very easy to do that. The real work is when, however you're feeling, you can be that. If you're feeling sad, have the strength to be sad in front of everybody. If you're feeling happy, you have the strength to be happy. And then wherever you want to be, to get to the place and be able to sustain. For me, that's peace. And then if there's something in front of me that excites me, then it becomes joy. Most of the time, I stay at the frequency of peace. That is the work I do. So it's easy to hide what we are feeling. No one can see what you're thinking. But that is an internal environment that you carry all day long. Now, just because no one can see it, we feel like it's harmless. Like if you lied when no one was watching, we feel like that was harmless. We feel like, I can't be caught and there would be no consequences. Imagine when you're a little kid. I used to do that all the time. Like when I'm with my friends, I'll come up with all kind of lies because I know my mom is not there. I'm not gonna get in trouble. So I can just tell these elaborate stories and get away with it. So we think as an adult, we can tell ourselves these stories, we can have a pity party within us, and it has no consequences. That's why we live that way because, we can do whatever inside our mind. No one is getting impacted, no one will know. But here's the truth, my friend there's two layers to it. One, when we live with that heaviness, that feeling of suffering, that invisible suffering within us, and a lot of people, they're like, the whole world is suffering. I'm suffering on the world's behalf. And how could you be happy? Some people, they look at me and they're like, how could you be happy when there's so much going on? So that is how they feel significant by joining in the suffering of the world. My friend, you are one piece of the collective puzzle. If you're off balance, the whole world goes off balance. Let me rephrase that. If you go off balance, the whole universe goes off balance. That is how important you are. So let's say you're a piece of the puzzle, and let's say your color is orange and we need the orange to fit in that perfect place and the perfect shape that you are, and then you color yourself black, do you think that that puzzle would be complete? So when you go in this phase of suffering and invisibly you're just there, now you cannot really share your light with the world. The world doesn't need your darkness, my friend. It needs your light. So if you're carrying that burden on the behalf of your family or on the behalf of the whole world, you're not helping anybody. That is the bitter truth. You are not helping anyone. You are in fact hurting because now your light is squeezed out of you. On the face you can be like, I'm so helpful, I'm this, I'm that, but the frequency you're emanating, we emanate a very specific frequency that is not of your soul. Your soul came here to share, but right now, if let's say not you, I'll give my example. Let's say right now I sit here and I'm feeling hurt and I'm feeling sad and I'm feeling terrified, I'm feeling worried, I'm feeling afraid. What is the frequency I'm emanating into the universe? All of those. Is that going to help anyone? If I work on and clean up the way I think and the way I am being, if I clean up that, what is the frequency I'll emanate? Courage, love, peace, joy. Hope is not a frequency I use, but maybe you can say, like, there'll be hope out there that I'll be putting that humanity could be different. Now I'm benefiting the universe. So that is one aspect of it. But the second aspect that is so important for moms, I cannot emphasize it enough. If you are a mother, please pay attention to that. And if you're watching this and you're not a mom, please share this video with your mom. When you are engaged in that mom guilt that we have made so normal, I don't know why we have made it normal, but I became a mom and it was normalized to feel guilty as a mom. Something within me said no. I went and I found the mentors who helped me get on the other side of that guilt and eliminate that guilt from within me. I just went on a 3 days away from my son. Didn't feel guilty even for a second. So it's work to get there. The guilt, the shame, the worry, the fear, the resentfulness that you feel, it impacts your physical body. If you're in your 30s and you have high blood pressure, or you have diabetes, or you have, PCOS, fibroids, or if you have some kind of other autoimmune disorder in your 30s, I'm not talking about your 70s. If you're in your 30s and you have any of that, my friend, it's not because it's inheritance, it's not because it was in genetics. You are used to having the same internal environment as your mom does. You never discovered who you are as the soul. What is your specific frequency? You never learned that. So you are vibrating at the same frequency as your mom. What is it doing? It's creating blockage within you and your body is getting sick. Who's going to suffer? Your kids. Your kids need a mother who can be present for them because you are your parents' first support system, first provider, first person who is present so they develop trust. The trust within a child is developed within the first year of their life. If the mom is not really there, like you physically could be there, but you're not really there, if that is how you feel, your child is absorbing that. That is how we continue having, uh, you know, generational curses passed on. The way your mom is, that is how you're being. Your kids are going to be a little bit different version of that. At what point we say, I am going to not be like how I was conditioned to be like. I'm going to discover who I am in my true essence, the way you were created. And that is such a beautiful journey to be on. I'm personally on that journey, and every day just keeps getting more beautiful being on that journey, being living life with that level of curiosity. So when you're carrying this invisible suffering within you and you feel like, it's harmless, nobody knows. Everybody thinks I'm a very happy person. I used to live that way. You are hurting the universe, but you're also hurting yourself. The most important thing, if you're a mom, you can do for your kids is be the happiest, truly happiest, and the healthiest version of you. Not the most successful and the most amazing career. That would definitely help them financially. You'll be able to put them in a very good school. You'll be able to provide amazing homes and everything for them. But internally, emotionally, they will be just as anxious as you. If you're on anxiety pills, they'll be on anxiety pills too. Nothing against them, against that. If that is the lifestyle you want, that is your choice. That is not the lifestyle I personally like to have. So this is just my opinion. I like to discover, where did I got so far off from my center that I need to rely on a pill just to feel better. That is my personal opinion. That doesn't have to be your opinion. And if you want to really discover who you are at your core, that is what's going to help your kids discover who they are at their core. And that is the light that the world is waiting for to get only from you. Because the piece that you are, there's no one else like you in the universe, in the whole universe. If you believe in aliens, no one is like you. There's only one of you. That is how important you are. So I invite you, my friend, whatever source you're going to use, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a counselor, whether it's a coach, whether it would be me, do the work to separate from that suffering and heal that part of you. We start to identify with the suffering. You're not what happened to you. You're not what you experienced. All that you have gone through so you can get deeper into yourself. So I will tell you, just this morning, I was having a conversation with one of my friends. We're reconnecting after a year. And I'm sharing the story with her. She was asking me, like, how your year has been. And I was sharing with her, last year I went through marriage, and then my sibling decided to not be part of my life anymore. And she went into, oh my God, that is, so hurtful and this and that. We went that route. And I said, that's exactly what I needed to go through to become who I am. Because what happens when we are surrounded by people? You get a pinch, and right away you're calling. If you're me, the way I used to live, you pinch and right away you're calling somebody and you're connecting with them. What happened in between? You forgot to connect with yourself. Something happened, you're calling somebody. Something happened, you're calling somebody. So universe removed that for me, which has been the biggest blessing. Someone else, they're hearing my story, like sometimes they're like, have tears going down. That's not how I live. The universe removed that support system. So when something happened, I had no other choice but to go deeper within myself and connect with such a deeper part of me where there was no pain, there was no suffering, there was only peace. But the wisdom that comes from that part of me does not come when something happened and I'm calling somebody. That is a very superficial way of living. And my soul decided to come here and be that level of leader who can lead herself out of the darkest moment, and she can show other women how to lead themselves. I am not here to collect followers. I am here to show other people who are already a leader within themselves. And in my opinion, everyone is a leader of their life, but so many of us, we are letting an ideal lead our life or another human lead our life. So I went through all that so I can connect deeper into me. Now, that is the path I took because that is the path I am on. I got help. I talked to my mentors. Took me about 8 months to kind of complete the process. Now, there was another option. I could have sat with a very, happy sob story and just let it infest all different parts of me. Let it just grow and bubble and become into this ugly, nasty thing. What was going to happen? Within a year or so, I was going to get some kind of diagnosis. Because what's happening when all my energy is going into feeding that darkness, my organs are not getting energy. When your organs don't get energy, things start to break apart in your physical body. So I focused on healing it, staying whole, staying intact, and connecting with the deeper part of me. So whatever you have gone through in your life, whatever, ever you have gone through in your life, you went through that experience. So in order to get to the other side, you can connect deeper into yourself. If you didn't do that, what happened? You're still carrying that on your back. That thing that happened when you were 15, you're still carrying it on your back because you didn't unravel the gift within it. Because when you unravel the gift within it, there's no suffering, there's pain, and there's transformation. Unfortunately, we are trained to, or we are conditioned to stay in the middle path that is suffering. We never get to transformation. So, my friend, I'll invite you wherever you're in your journey, get to the level of transformation. Get to know who you are in your deeper self, in your core, in your true essence. That is when you're going to come out of that silent suffering, but at the same time, you're going to stop hurting the universe. Everyone gets impacted by you and hurting your body. I trust that this has served someone who wake up and really take a bold decision to connect with yourself, heal your relationship with yourself. I'm sending you so much love. I'll be back tomorrow with more. And if this has resonated and you're ready to do that work, you can go to my website, aliajamalcoaching.com, and you can book a session, comment below, wherever you're watching it. And I would love to be your guide on this journey. I'm sending you love. See you tomorrow. Bye.